Morning everyone, I'm just going to do a quick tutorial on TinkerCAD. So as you can see, I've opened up TinkerCAD. It's just tinkercad.com, or you search TinkerCAD in Google and it'll pop up as the first link. What we're going to do is we're going to sign in or join. If you haven't joined yet, we're going to click join now. We're going to click create personal account. We're going to sign in with Google and use your school email. I already have one. So I'm just going to go back to the home page and sign in with Google, select your school account, and you should be able to sign in with that. Alright, once it's loaded, we get a page like this. We're going to click Create New Design. Once that loads up, it's going to open us up into a new workspace where we can start modeling from scratch. So I'm going to start by just showing you how to move around the space. So to move around this space like this, I am using the center wheel of my mouse and just clicking. So I push it down and we can grab and move around our space. On a laptop, it's a little bit more complicated and it's not something I'm familiar with. So I do recommend you use a mouse if you have one. Next thing we're going to do is rotate the space. So you can see this orb square thing up in the top left hand corner. It's got top, front, side, and back written on it. What we're going to do is we're going to start by clicking on this front face. You can see that's rotated us to look at it directly from the front. If I click on this arrow on the right hand side, it will rotate us to look at the right hand side. Arrow on the bottom is the bottom. Now if I click on one of these corners, or one of these sides, you can see what it does. The other way to use this in the corner is grabbing it, and while you're holding click, just dragging us around. Once you're happy with where you are, you can let go obviously and keep working on your piece. Now if you get stuck or confused or unhappy with where you are, we're just going to click on this button here that says Home View. Click on that and it takes you back to where we started. Finally, we have zoom in and out, which is your standard control wheel on your mouse. You just zoom in and out, or you can zoom in and out on your laptop keyboard. Again, I suggest you use a mouse for this, it will make it much easier. Back to home view very quickly, and I'm going to start by showing you how to model some stuff. So you can see I've got basic shapes open in this side here. I've got polygons, wedges, roofs, cones, boxes, cylinders, and a sphere. I'm going to start by showing you how to model the wheels that we have at school. Now I'm going to start by deciding which shape a wheel is most like. It's not very much like a box. It's not very much like a sphere. It's certainly not much like a roof. So I'm going to pick the shape it's most like, and the shape it's most like is a cylinder. So I'm going to click on it, drag it in, click again to let go. So now you can see we have a cylinder. Now it's a bit of the wrong way around for a wheel. So what I'll do is I'll just click, and we're going to start making some adjustments to make it look more like a wheel. First thing I'm going to do is rotate it so it's on the right side that we want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up and click on this little bent arrow up here. And what I can do is I can click and drag and try and get it to 90 degrees that way, which can be a bit awkward. Or I can click, this little box pops up and I can type in my number. If you type in your number, press enter, and it will set it up for you. Next thing I'm going to do is make it skinnier, because the wheels we have at school aren't this thick. The wheels that we've been given dimensions for are 2 millimeters thick most of the way down. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the shape, I'm going to have a look at all these boxes here, and I'm going to see that if we click on this box, we can adjust 2 dimensions, or if we click on this box, we can adjust 1. I'm going to do this and make the wheel skinnier, So I'm going to do that by making this 2 millimeters. So I type in 2, press enter. Got a nice skinny wheel now. Next, I'm going to use our controls to come around to this right hand side. Click on the wheel again. I'm going to have to adjust it to make it as big as the wheel is going to be. So the wheel is going to be 50 millimeters, I have been told. I'm going to type in 50. Oh, it's disappeared. Click on the thing, click on the box, 50, enter. You can see it hasn't adjusted the whole wheel. So we're going to have to click on one of these other boxes. I'm going to try and click on the black box in the middle. So we're only adjusting one thing at a time. And type in 50. If you did happen to click on one of these squares, you can either zoom in or you can just make sure that you're not dragging. You're just clicking and editing the measurement. That's a whole wheel. It looks a bit funky. It's got some pointy bits, and that's because everything in these CAD programs is made up of squares. So all we have to do to make it look a bit more round and a bit more nice is grab sides here and just drag it up a little bit. Don't go overboard, don't go all the way up to 60, maybe go to 30 or so, that's plenty. Alright, now we've got one wheel. What happens if we need more than one, or more than one part? Well, all we do is we click on the thing, and we either press this tool up here, which is to duplicate, which is Control D, or this button. Grab and drag, or, again, the shortcut, Control D. Or we can click on the shape, press Control C, press Control V, which is copy and paste. Now we've got two wheels. We're just going to click on one, grab it and drag it over there, click on this one, grab it and drag it out of the way as well. And I'm going to show you making the axle and combining objects. All we're going to do here is start off by making some sort of basic body for the axle to go through. I'm going to use a box for this because most car bodies are kind of square. For this I'm not going to worry much about dimension, I'm just going to sort of wing it. Make it a bit fatter, make it a bit shorter. That will probably do. And lift it just a little bit off the ground. Next I'm going to make an axle. Again, I'm going to use a cylinder because that's what axles most look like. I'm going to rotate it all the way around to 90 degrees, and again, I'm going to go to the front, and we can see that it's not quite right. So I'm going to use Control Z to undo whatever I did to it. Click on the thing, type 90, put it on its side. Axle dimensions that I was given are 3 millimeters in diameter and 115 millimeters long. 115, there we go. And all we have to do is move around and change this to 3 as well. Now we've got an axle. We're going to grab it, drag it roughly into the right place, and you can see I'm moving through different views to make sure I've got everything positioned correctly. I want to make sure it looks roughly in the middle. I'm going to go down to the side here and lift it up so it's roughly in the middle. And I'm going to go and look, and I think I want to make it in the middle of our wheel, not in the middle of anything else. So I'm going to go use the front view, sort of adjust it until I think, yep, that's the middle of the wheel. I reckon that's pretty close. I think it will do. I'm now going to drag the box up a bit. And I'm going to select the axle here. And once I've selected the axle, I'm just going to come up to this cube, rotate it a bit, grab the wheel, move it sideways onto the axle, grab this other wheel, do the same thing on the other end. I'll try and make sure it's lined up correctly. So I'm going to go back up to the top view. There we go. And just drag things around until they look a little bit nicer. Alright, so this has been a very, very basic model of a car. Obviously we need some more wheels on it, and we need a couple of other things to make it the car that we want. But I'm going to leave it there. I've showed you most of the things that you will use. We can combine some shapes now, we can change the dimensions, the rotation, and all that of shapes as well. I've showed you copying and pasting or duplicating. So I'm going to leave it there, guys. If you have any questions, please ask me in the comments or by email. Otherwise, hopefully this gets you by with some very basic CAD. Alright, have a good day and good luck with it.